Electric Company. It has to do with the guys in blue, the St. Louis Blues power play. Not only did they not score in the last game against Calgary, they were scored upon. The Blues are below 10% on the power play against the Flames. They have to find an answer.
We were 0 for 8, and we had our chances. Vernon came up big. We may have had a couple of goals, but I thought Vernon made a superb save on Benning. But he's part of their team, and he made the key saves when he had to. And Vernon played very, very well tonight, but we have nothing to show for in the power play. They had one power play and one shorthanded goal, and it doesn't hurt a team to do that, and certainly hurt the Blues.
Trailing 3-2 in the Campbell Conference Finals tonight in St. Louis Arena, the Blues must find a way to solve rookie goaltender Mike Vernon. They must solve him, or they'll go home.
There's no way to get the upper hand. I mean, this is a hard-fought series, and you're not going to knock these guys out easy, I'll tell you that, boy. They're playing their hearts out.
The NHL on ESPN tonight, Game 6 of the Campbell Conference Championship round. Live from the St. Louis Arena in St. Louis, Missouri, it's the Calgary Flames and the St. Louis Blues. The city of St. Louis, gateway to the west and sporting the famous Gateway Arch. Could that Gateway Arch be symbolic of the Calgary Flames winning their way and walking through that gateway to the Stanley Cup Finals? Or could we see the Blues winning tonight and showing us the gateway to a 7th game for the Campbell Conference title? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the NHL on ESPN. I'm Tom Mees. The road to the Cup tonight, St. Louis and the Blues, it's do or die time. If they're going to win, they must get production from the power play. Look how terrible the St. Louis power play has been in this series against the Calgary Flames. 0 for 8 in Game 1, 0 for 4 in Game 2, 0 for 5 in Game 3. Game 4, they won it. They were 2 for 5 and 0 for 8, including a shorthanded goal scored against them in the last game in Calgary. Let's go live to our rinkside reporter, Jim Kelly, at the arena. Jim?
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Calgary's 12-year NHL veteran Lanny McDonald summed up the Flames' opportunities best of all. I think he said, we're up 3-2, and we've got 2 chances to kick the cat. Calgary, of course, has never been in an NHL Stanley Cup final. They can clinch here tonight in St. Louis or at home on Wednesday night. But before they go out and beat the Blues, they first have to go out and beat the thermometer, which is over 80 degrees at ice side, rinkside here in St. Louis tonight. For the St. Louis Blues, they haven't been in the NHL Stanley Cup final since back in 1972. And tonight it's important for St. Louis to get out of the blocks quickly, because in each of the 5 previous games, the team that scored first has gone on to win that game. And as far as St. Louis, they have only outshot the opposition in 14 of the previous 52 playoff periods. The Blues and the Flames in the NHL. The winner gets the Montreal Canadiens as ESPN's Road to the Cup continues.
United Airlines welcomes you to spring with low fares that can take you to more places than any other airline. 150 cities from coast to coast. Fares as low as $39 to $169 each way with full friendly skies service. Spring is in the air, so take off with a low United fare.
You're not just flying, you're flying the friendly skies.
You're growing, America. And so are your copying needs. That's why Konicka's Royal Copiers are built tough, with all the features you demand for future growth. Zoom magnification reduction, double-sided copying, electronic editing, and more. For challenges as big as tomorrow, Konica offers a complete line of rugged Royal Copiers backed by nationwide service. You demand productivity. With Konicka's Royal Copiers, you get it. Tough customers, tough copiers.
Help! Help! These bugs are chewing me up.
Try new Job's insecticide spikes with fertilizer. It's a new product so you can insecticize while you fertilize. Watch. Job's goes through the roots and puts insecticide inside trees and shrubs into every leaf to kill bugs wherever they're hiding.
Job's last for up to 8 weeks.
Job's insecticide spiked with fertilizer for continuous bug protection
Through the roots.
What's that you're shaving with?
An Norelco.
Looks terrific.
Well, it is America's leading electric. It's rechargeable, it's guaranteed, and it gives me a fantastic shave.
As close as a blade?
Yep. Feel.
Wow.
It's her patented system that lifts each whisker up and shaves it off plain clothes.
I love it when you talk high-tech.
What do you think of the Norelco Ladies Rechargeable I gave you?
Terrific. What do you think?
Sensational.
Norelco. We put quality first.
The NHL on ESPN is being brought to you by Plymouth, a division of Chrysler Corporation. Plymouth, the pride is back, born in America again. And by Bud Light, the light beer with the first name and taste. Everything else is just a light. And by Casio, maker of the shock-resistant, water-resistant G-Shock. It's one tough watch to beat. Will the St. Louis Blues make it to the finals of the Stanley Cup for the first time since 1970? We'll have to wait and see. To do so, they'll have to win tonight Game 6 and force Game 7. Let's go to the arena and Ken Wilson.
Thank you, Tom. Certainly the Calgary Flames would like nothing more than to win it tonight and get ready for the finals against Montreal. Bill, what is it going to take?
It's going to take a very large effort because the St. Louis Blues are not ready to quit. If they could get a big game from Al McInnes, I think they can pull this one out tonight in Game 6. He is their leading scorer thus far against St. Louis in this series, and he's actually had some games where he could have had 4 or 5 goals and never scored a point. With that big shot from the point and with the Calgary power play going so well, I think he could very well be the big key for Calgary tonight.
The St. Louis Blues are making changes. Cliff Ronning, who played with the Canadian national team in the regular season, is going to play center to start out with Bernie Federko on a wing. And also, Bruce Bell is going to play defense. He is going to lead the power play. And, Bill, Jacques Demers said very simply, we're going to play it like it's 5-on-5, not 5-on-4.
Well, that's easier said than done a lot of times, Ken, because the 4 guys that are defending don't play like it's 5-on-5, so you have to adjust. Doug Gilmour is the leading scorer in the NHL playoff-wise right now, and he has to have a big game. He's chipped away, and added up his point totals, but he needs to have an exceptional game tonight. So if Doug Gilmour can come up big, St. Louis looks pretty good, too.
Well, there was plenty of excitement here for game number 4 the other night. We expect that and more for game number 6. The Calgary Flames and the St. Louis Blues.
Rare beauty by a visit to Coiffure d'Elegance, where you find professionals in cutting, styling, and designing hair for men and women. The most modern fashion in hair design you will find at Coiffure d'Elegance, especially the European design. For your wedding, showers, or parties, call their limousine service. Coiffure d'Elegance, located at 14600 Warren Avenue, corner of Chase in Dearborn. Call Coiffure d'Elegance at telephone number 846-6544.
The empty space of glass needs, there is an answer. Henderson Glass. With complete automotive glass, properly installed and guaranteed. Custom cut glass done in our own shop. Commercial and residential service. Vinyl tops, convertibles, and much more. For all that is glass, come to Henderson Glass on Van Born Road in Dearborn Heights. For universal solution, Henderson Glass. Serving the community for 70 years.
So the St. Louis Blues are on home ice with their backs squarely up against the wall. They lose tonight, the season's over for them. The last time that happened was in the finals of the Norris Division. They had a 7th game on their home ice against the Toronto Maple Leafs. They prevailed. Tonight, the situation a bit different. They must win, of course, but that to force a 7th game. And if a 7th game be necessary, we'll have it for you live Wednesday night from Calgary on ESPN at 9 Eastern and 6 Pacific time. But all that talk of a 7th game can wait about 3 hours or so till we find out who's going to win game number 6. Will the Calgary Flames get to the finals for the first time, or will the St. Louis Blues have a chance to win their first Stanley Cup and make their 4th visit to the Stanley Cup finals against the Montreal Canadiens? And what about those Canadiens? They're sitting at home, well rested. No matter which team they will meet, they will have the advantage of rest come game 1 of the finals on Friday night. But now it's time for game 6 of the Campbell Conference Finals. Let's go to St. Louis Arena and Ken Wilson and Bill Clement. Gentlemen.
There is plenty of excitement here at the venerable arena in St. Louis.
Ken, they're rocking and rolling in St. Louis. Boy, these guys, everybody here tonight wants to see a final series, and they know that if they don't win this one tonight, that won't happen.
The referee, Kerry Fraser, Swede Knox, and Ray Scapinello, the linesman.
What a series this kid has had, and believe me, his work will be cut out for him here again tonight. One of the big reasons the Flames are
in the semifinals this year playoffs. Mike Vernon and Rick Wansley, who's had such a wonderful career record against the Flames, is a surprise to no one as Jacques Demers' choice in net for the St. Louis Blues. He will probably be under some fire before this thing is over, too.
The Blues in this Stanley Cup playoff season, 9-8, 5-3 here. The Flames a remarkable 10-5, and they are 5-2 on the road.
Ken, it is no mistake that the Calgary Flames are here. People wonder about the St. Louis Blues. They are an underrated hockey team because they perpetuate that image. The Flames, on the other hand, come to the front of the class and say, we are just as good as you think we are, and they are. It's no fluke that the Flames are here.
Set to go, Gilmore facing off for the Blues against Risebrough of Calgary. Blues control the puck. Lee Norwood loses it to Al McInnes. It hits Lanny McDonald, and Gilmore flips the puck high. Jamie McCowan can't play it. Greg Paslowski loses it to Al McInnes, to Lanny McDonald and Doug Risebrough up front. Risebrough tipping it in. McDonald doing the forechecking as Paslowski tips the puck. It goes the length of the ice. McInnes touching it. Icing is the call against the St. Louis Blues. And right off the bat, Bob Johnson is going to make a line change for Calgary. It'll be interesting to see what Jacques Demers does.
Well, he has the last change. You can see Bob Johnson. Now, what he's doing is looking down to see what Demers is doing. Johnson is not watching the play because it's not going on. He wants to see early in this game how Demers matches up. And, you know, talking to Jacques Demers, asking him what he thinks the difference is going to be tonight, he said both teams want this game equally. It's going to amount to execution and the team that makes the fewest mistakes. Because earlier in the series, Calgary was accused of not wanting the game enough and not being angry at the Blues. Well, tonight, they're ready.
Jamie McCowan towards the net. Pad save Walmsley. The Blues have Bernie Federko on left wing, Cliff Ronning at center, Mark Hunter on right wing. McInnes losing the puck, and it goes to Mike Eaves, who did not play in the regular season. Around the boards, Colin Patterson there, and Ronning intercepts, but unable to clear. McCowan keeping it in. Now it's Bruce Bell, teamed on defense with Rob Ramage, and Hunter clears the puck to center ice. Here's Cliff Ronning. He's only about 5'6", and McCowan. As Calgary changes, McCowan going it alone, and the Blues will head out of their own end, led by Rob Ramage, who just clears the zone. Neil Sheehy to Dan Quinn, who had 2 goals in Game 5. Steve Bozak rushing in. Walmsley plays the puck to Wickenheiser. Quinn takes him out. Bozak gets it back and trying to keep it in, and able to is Reinhart, and the puck deflects into the crowd.
Well, there's the man that is starting, Cliff Ronning, tonight. Ken, it's going to be interesting to see what Ronning does. I would think that with all of the lineup changes, and we'll get to all of them when we get a chance, Jacques Demers is not sitting pat, and to me, that means he feels as if he has to do something to shake his boys up a little bit. I don't think he really felt deep down inside that he could beat the Flames in this series unless he did something drastic, and he's made a number of lineup changes tonight. Kept them secret, of course. I mean, you found out about them just before the game. Everybody was scurrying around trying to find them, and I think you were the first to know, but it will be interesting to see if the players respond to Jacques' lineup changes.
Here's Joel Otto looking for Mullen, and the pass intercepted by Mark Hunter. Hunter with Federko and Cavallini shooting the puck in. Reinhart back. In essence, a double shift for Federko and Hunter. Now Federko playing center as Cavallini takes the left wing. Can't get around Sheehy. Jim Peplinski can't control the bouncing puck. Finally, it's Charlie Bourgeois to Mark Hunter. Now here's Federko looking in front for Hunter. Neither he nor Cavallini can play the puck, and it's chipped into the crowd by Jim Pavis. Boy, what an interesting turn, Bill Clement. A double shift in effect.
Bernie Federko is their leading player, Ken, and if he's ever going to have a big game and have the stamina, tonight's the night. If they don't win tonight, he's going to be able to work on his conditioning all summer. So Jacques Demers is relying heavily on the guys that got him here, and that's not a bad way to go.
Joe Mullen wearing that face shield after a serious lip injury. Former Blues player, and the man we've talked about, Mike Burton, with that 2.78 playoff goals against. Rick Natras slowed up by Doug Risebrough, and he can't get around Norwood. Now McInnes can't stop Gilmore. Oh, just out of the reach of Paslowski. Now Gilmore behind the net, centering, and the Flames cover up. Tonelli hits the referee. Here's Lanny McDonald. Gilmore intercepting, hitting the back of the net. Paslowski doing the forechecking to Sutter, and Tonelli intercepts. Off to Lanny McDonald. Doug Risebrough, Lanny McDonald, and John Tonelli on this line for Calgary. Risebrough back to the point. McInnes. His shot hits the stick of Gilmore. Another effort. Feeding to McDonald. And the puck bouncing all over the place. Now Risebrough to Tonelli, and he can't get a stick on the puck. Approaching the 3-minute mark. First period, no score. Gilmore around McInnes again. Gilmore, the shot. Oh, and it goes just wide. Now Rick Natras moves in. His drive, and Vernon, a tremendous pad save. Tonelli clears the zone for Calgary.
I think Gilmore even got a piece of that puck before Vernon made the save. It was a great save on a deflection.
Now Mark Reeves. Over to Lee Norwood. Blues are changing. And McDonald intercepts. Eaves just dumping it in. No score. First period, game 6. Flames 3 victories. Blues 2. Game 7 if needed. Wednesday night in Calgary. Blues some terrific forechecking early. Reeds to Bruce Bell, the ex-Nordique. Back to Mark Reeds. Mahar's in the slot. Ramage at the right point. Cavallini in front. And Reeds unable to get the puck. He is checked by Terry Johnson. There'll be a penalty. A 2-minute penalty against Terry Johnson of the Calgary Flames. Early in game 6, there's no score.
Chrysler LeBaron GTS challenges BMW 528e and Mercedes 190e to a test of performance. Overall, America's GTS dominates the legendary Germans and is under $12,000. LeBaron GTS. We built an American hero.
Only Chrysler Plymouth gives you real American values with $500 or $1,000.
Terry Johnson's off for roughing the ex-St. Louis Blue at 3:54 of the first period, and it was kind of Ken Wilson, kind of an unnecessary penalty. The play had already been broken up and gone the other way, deep in the Flame zone, and he got the elbow up actually on one of the Blues. So early in this game, we'll see if St. Louis has done that work in their power play that they said they were going to.
Their intention to play it as if it's an even strength, 5-on-5, instead of having the man advantage. In other words, be more aggressive. That's exactly the way Jacques Demers explained it to us. McInnes clearing the puck, and it caroms off the glass into the crowd. And Tom Meese pointed it out so well. The Blues in this series, 2 goals in 25 power play opportunities.
Well, that is atrocious, even in the middle of the season. In the playoffs, you have to have those special teams going. And we talked in the open about how Jacques Demers wanted to play the power play as if it were 5-on-5. And he didn't mean so much style. You're absolutely right, as he meant intensity.
Aggressiveness.
Aggressiveness and intensity both. And it's very difficult to do because there are some creative penalty killers that are allowed to freelance out there and really wheel and deal and do their stuff. So we'll have to watch and see what they do. They studied Philadelphia's power play, incidentally, because it's very close to their own, and they wanted to see if they executed a little differently than they did. So all day long, they studied Philadelphia's power play, trying to get their own going.
Rick Natras, the ex-Montreal Canadian. Now Mark Hunter, another former Montrealer. Looking for either Ronning or Fedorko. Fedorko and Ronning will have to come back now as Norwood retreats for the puck. Cliff Ronning has not played since the opening series against Minnesota. Here's Fedorko. He is shifty to Ronning. And Patterson clears the zone after the McInnes poke check. 50 seconds left in the St. Louis power play. No score. Paslowski. Gilmore. Paslowski. Blues changing their point men. That hurt Paslowski. He wanted to go to the point. Sheehy unable to check Gilmore. Now here's Rick Natras. His shot, and Quinn blocks it, and then there'll be a penalty to Natras for yanking Dan Quinn down. Quinn, more than likely, would have had a breakaway. The game is 5 minutes, 30 seconds old. 24 seconds left in the Calgary penalty. The Blues will now be shorthanded, and there's no score.
Give me a light. Bud Light. Oh, but chilly.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get. Give me a light. Bud Light. So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light. No, Bud Light.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
Well, through that tiny crack in the boards, you can see part of the face of Rick Natras. Watch the left of your screen. You could just see Natras dumping Danny Quinn. And had he let him go, with Danny Quinn's speed, there's no way he would have caught him. Ken, that's kind of one of those penalties that a coach doesn't mind you taking. However, Natras should have had his head up and not shot it into Quinn's pads in the first place.
Blues, Flames, 4 skaters aside. Wickenheiser losing the puck. Paul Reinhart. In his 7th season with Calgary, Reinhart with McGinnis, Eves, and Mullen. No score. Now the Flames at a man advantage situation. Johnson goes to the bench. Quinn comes on the power play. Eves to Quinn, just under his stick. Calgary in the playoffs with 18 power play goals, and at center ice, Eves in a collision, and there'll be a penalty or 2 here. We'll see.
Boy, Eves is sure arguing the point. Well, so far we only have one door open, which would imply one penalty, and it's the Flames door that's open.
He threw a bit of a slash the way of a St. Louis player, and again, both teams will be 1 man short for 1:20.
Boy, uncharacteristic of Mike Eves, especially in a game as big as this one. He's the man we've been talking about, came out of retirement for this series, and hadn't really played all seasons long. He draws a slashing penalty at 6:10 of the first period. Well, that takes care of any power play that the Flames had going. They still have 1:20 that they would have had on a power play. Now they're going to play even strength for 1:20, and the Blues will end up with a power play for 40 seconds.
This is where the shifty speedsters can sometimes shine. Jim Peplinski will take the face-off against Doug Gilmour. Bozak and Peplinski up front for Calgary. Gilmour and Pazlowski, the 2 forwards for St. Louis. Both teams a man short, no score, early first period here at the arena in St. Louis. Ramage getting the puck in, Pazlowski to dig it out. Taken out by McCowan, but battling on. Gilmour trails. Ramage pinching in, and it works. Oh, then a nice steal by Peplinski. Steve Bozak. And it's offside Calgary, a delayed call. 45 seconds until the Blues are back at full strength, and now they blow the whistle for the offside. We welcome back and throw things to Jim Kelly.
All right, Kenny, thank you very much. Coming up on Wednesday night, live and exclusively here on ESPN, Game 7 of this series, if needed, should the Blues beat Calgary. We'll be in Calgary, 9 o'clock Eastern time on Wednesday night to bring you that deciding Game 7. If the Flames win tonight, we'll have the trophy presentation, and then we'll see you on Friday night, live from the Saddledome in Calgary, the best-of-7 Stanley Cup Finals against the Canadiens of Montreal. Bill, you talk about 2 goals on 25 power play attempts for the Blues, only 8%, but those were negated by 2 shorthanded goals by Calgary.
Yeah, that's a stat that even comes into play a little more. You know, the statistic that I remember from the last game, St. Louis not only did not score on 8 of 8 chances in the power play, but they were outshot 6-4.
Walmsley makes the save. Risebrow with that effort. 20 seconds, Blues will be at full strength. A minute until the Flames get their penalized player back. 7:15 has gone by, first period. Jamie McCowan intercepts. Risebrow loses the puck. The Blues not very sharp the last couple of minutes. Here's Rick Mahan. He's on with Reeds, Bell, and Ramage. Now Natras back on. St. Louis at full strength. Hakan-Loob stealing from Bell, and Ramage covers up. Both teams are changing players. Half a minute until Eves returns for Calgary. Here's Cliff Ronning. He's seen a lot of ice time early. He shot, and Vernon makes the save with Fedorko looking for the rebound.
Well, we just saw one of the reasons Cliff Ronning, there he is, he's in the lineup. His lateral movement, when he crosses that blue line, no Blue really against the Flames defense has been able to gain possession crossing the blue line. Watch Ronning here. He makes so many cuts. He'll go back to one side, then he cuts left. His lateral movement is excellent, and that's one of the keys to him being such a great offensive threat.
He scored 51 goals with Team Canada this season. join the Blues for the playoffs, but as we mentioned, has not played since the first round. He had one terrific game against Minnesota.
Well, there's no question he can score goals. His last year junior, he had 89 goals and 108 assists for 197 points in 70 games in New Westminster. So they're looking to him to provide a little bit of offense tonight.
Natras, Norwood. Fedorko at left wing, Ronning at center. Ronning with a puck. Hunter is the right wing. St. Louis with a power play for 8 seconds. Ronning losing it. Risebrough clearing. Nothing in this first period. Calgary with 4 shots on goal. St. Louis with 2. Eves back on. Both teams again at full strength. Here's Ronning again, looking up and losing the puck to John Tonelli. With Quinn and McDonald over the line. Quinn to McDonald and Fedorko back checking. Lanny McDonald leaves the puck. Natras forechecked by Quinn. Mark Hunter. Here's Hunter for St. Louis. Flipping it in, and the Blues will change. McInnes back. To Quinn on the move. Brian Sutter trying to pick him up. Now Tonelli will go after the puck. Pazlowski back, beats him to it. Bourgeois beaten to the puck by Quinn. Here's Lanny McDonald. Tonelli in front, and he fans. John Tonelli had that brief opening there where he was wide open as Gilmore shoots the puck in for St. Louis. Here's a Pazlowski shot, hits a leg. Now Johnson tied up by Brian Sutter. Quinn steps into Pazlowski, and referee Kerry Fraser stops play, and Brian Sutter wants a piece of Dan Quinn. At the arena in St. Louis, no score.
The pride is back. Born in America. The pride is back. Born in America.
Plymouth shows you why the pride is back. Plymouth Reliant K, 6-passenger room, Plymouth's 550 protection plan. Front-wheel drive Reliant K.
The pride is back. Born in America. Again.
Only Plymouth gives you real American values with 5.8 financing or $500.
After Game 5 in Calgary, Jacques Demers said that he was happiest with the play of that man, Brian Sutter, the Blues captain. You can see him wearing the C. He's also their inspirational leader. It's obviously the reason he has the C on. And he just tussled with Terry Johnson, his ex-teammate. They're both off for roughing here in the first period, close to the halfway mark. One of the reasons that Demers respected him for Game 5, Ken, is that he took an awful gash over the eye and went in and got stitched up and came back and played even harder, and that's what Sutter's made of. He's also nursing the remains of a healing broken shoulder blade, which had to be painful. He's re-injured it twice in the last few months, but he is definitely here, and you will see Brian, if he is able to walk or stand up, be on the ice.
Coincidental penalties at 9:02. Sutter and Johnson both for roughing. Mullen, long shot wide. Both teams play it at full strength on the coincidental penalties. Joel Otto in heavy traffic, taken out, and Hunter will wind it up. Cavallini turns the puck in, and Vernon wanders. Reinhart having trouble. Here's Bourgeois to Fedorko for Hunter. He can't get his stick on the puck as she had him covered. Mullen back. Peplinski. Cavallini takes Mullen, and Bourgeois gets Peplinski as Hunter then loses the puck to Reinhart. The play is offside Calgary with 10:11 remaining in the first period. Shots 4-2 Calgary. And my impression is, Bill Clement, that neither team has really had good scoring opportunities. Cliff Ronning's chance on Mike Vernon comes to mind, but that's about it.
Well, I know that both teams would probably want to play a very tight game. What St. Louis has to watch out for early, and I would safe to say that they're over the danger point. That is too much adrenaline coming up and welling up inside them, and it's so difficult to control. You want to play a disciplined defensive style. That's what Jacques Demers demands of them. The only thing that can make them stray from that, if their heads are intact, is so much adrenaline flowing that they actually lose control out there. So far, they've been right on track. They've been playing the tight game he wants of them.
Both teams seem very much in control. Calgary's passing seems a bit sharper. Here's Hockenloob on with Eves and Patterson. Baxter at one point, McCowan at the other, centering to Patterson, and he shot high. Eves did a good job getting that puck out front. Herb Ragland stopped. This is Paul Baxter, the 30-year-old defenseman around the boards. Loob can't clear. Wickenheiser taken out. McCowan covers up, and Ragland waiting to intercept. And he runs into Baxter, takes him down in front. Ragland, and he's poke checked by Eves. Oh, the crowd loved the rookie Ragland stepping into the veteran Baxter. Colin Patterson getting the puck in. Patterson caught a high stick in the face. Now it's Ramage running into his own player, Beers. Hocking Lube, and he can't get a shot against Bruce Bell. Quinn back to the point. Sheehy. That one goes right on. A wobbly shot caught by Wamsley. It's St. Louis nothing. Calgary no score.
Introducing the G-Shock 5200 watch from Casio. The sports watch that's ready for action with a built-in shock absorber. It's tough, so tough, this G-Shock can take a slap in the face and not even flinch. The G-Shock 5200, just one of Casio's water-resistant sports watches. It's one tough watch to beat.
Nine minutes to go here in the first period. There's young Herb Ragland, 18 years old, and what a run he took. Now look at Baxter. Baxter was coming to hit him, but I'll tell you what, the best defense was a great offense in that case, Ken, because Ragland spotted him coming and just up with the forearm, caught him right under the chin. Kerry Fraser had the net between himself and the play. It's one of the reasons young Ragland got away with that one.
Both teams are at full strength. Sheehy back, gets the puck to Bozak. Less than 9 minutes to go in the opening period. Cavallini dumps it in, and here's Paul Reinhardt. Reinhardt and Sheehy on defense. Dan Quinn is the center. Hunter on one wing, Bozak on the other for Calgary. Back to the puck, Charlie Bourgeois. Bozak all over him, and as Bourgeois touches it, it is an icing call, and then Hunter steps in on Bourgeois. Charlie Bourgeois taking exception with a little bump from Steve Bozak. It's not sort of how do you do when you're into the playoffs. It's more like, don't forget I'm here.
Let's get out of my way or I will run over you and leave no trace of life.
Tim Hunter loves to go. He's number 19. And you can see the linesman push him down. That was interesting. Ray Scapinello. Hunter didn't look too sure in the blades.
Look at little Ray Scapinello. He must be able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. He just, the thing was, Tim Hunter wasn't ready for it. Now Hunter's more upset with Scapinello. He's forgotten about Bourgeois.
That's a pretty good technique for a linesman. That should be used more often as they start getting away from the opposition and more with the men in the striped shirt. So a little problem with an icing and a player bumping another. Nothing serious. 8:41 left, first period, and there's no score.
Plymouth shows you why the pride is back. Plymouth Voyager, car-like handling, Plymouth's 550 protection plan. Versatile Plymouth Voyager.
The pride is back. Born in America again.
Only Plymouth gives you real American values with 5.8 financing or $500.
Well, when this series started, that man, Charles Bourgeois, was a good friend of a lot of these Calgary Flames since he'd played there for the last few years. But in the newspapers and openly and vocally and talking to Charles today, he said it's safe to say now we've built up that hatred. And we made an issue of that before Game 5, Ken, and we said that Calgary needed to find a way to hate them. Well, there's one of the men, Tim Sheehy, or Neil Sheehy, that has really contributed to the animosity that is built as this series goes on. And you can understand that as the series wears towards Game 7, that the animosity is going to surface little by little by little. And now you're seeing two teams that are in a real meaningful struggle. They do dislike one another at this stage of the series.
Blues must win. Pazlowski a shot, hit Brian Sutter. Now Lanny McDonald for Calgary. Al McInnes clears, and it's Doug Gilmour. Gilmour showing some signs of outstanding play in this first period. He has been really the key man for the Blues. He's had some tremendous games, especially Game 5, the deciding game the Blues had with Minnesota. Play it out to center ice. McCowan bringing it back offside Calgary. Ken Wilson, Bill Clement. We are at the arena in St. Louis with Jim Kelly. And let's go to Jim.
All right, Kenny, on May 15th, 9 o'clock Eastern Time from the Holiday Star Theater in Maryville, Indiana, Joey Ruiz of Chicago against Brian Barnett of Philadelphia, and then the heavyweights, Mike Evans against Andrew Stokes. Top Rank Boxing, May 15th, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 o'clock Pacific, right here on ESPN. 8:18 left to go. And these Blues backed up against it, but they've extended each of their previous series to the limit, and they've come out on top each time. What's that magic ingredient, Bill?
It's called heart, Jim. Nothing more, nothing less. A lot of hard work and a lot of heart.
Here are the Blues. Ramage. Here's Bruce Bell with him on defense. Ronning is up front with Fedorko, who's moved from center, so this man can play center. Hunter on the right wing. Vernon leaving the puck. Terry Johnson being chased. Ronning intercepts. He's the speedster. And he's shifty in front. Fedorko taken out. Eaves the other way. Hunter back checking Johnson to Colin Patterson. Well, Ronning has gotten more than a couple of shifts. Doc Demers said if he plays well, he'll be out there. We'll see how it goes. It has gone well.
Well, I would say so far so good on the Ronning experiment.
Johnson for Calgary to Otto. He misplays the puck. Here's Natras. Unable to reach Ronning or Hunter. And the Blues will retreat. Flames make a wholesale player change. St. Louis changing also. This is Fedorko. Blues leading scorer season after season. Wickenheiser loses the puck. Mullen has trouble. Raglan all over him, and Mullen just content to clear the puck out. Now Otto slowed down by Norwood, and Walmsley will play the puck off a board that is a little unusual, causing a bad hop, and the Blues get hemmed in, and finally it's up to Fedorko to get the puck out. And the Blues want to complete their line change. Play since the opening few minutes has cooled a bit. Rather tight checking. There's no score. Joel Otto against Pavis. Pavis grabs him, and there'll be a penalty to Jim Pavis. Meanwhile, Ramage and Peplinski are going to go in front of the net, and I mean go. There'll be a penalty against Pavis of the Blues. Well, that left hand to Ramage got loose.
Well, it's loose, but I'll tell you one thing. He hit Peplinski about 3 in the helmet. He's going to be lucky if he doesn't have a hand problem after this, Ken. It looks great from up here, and it looks like you're really beating the other guy. I'll tell you what, Peplinski knows what he's doing. He tilted his head so that Rammer had to hit his head a couple of times with the helmet on.
Calgary will end up with the power play with 6:37 remaining in period number 1. At the arena in St. Louis, ESPN covering the Stanley Cup playoffs. There's no score.
Welcome to Adventures in Insurance. Today we're with a man in the fast food business. What kind of food do you serve, sir?
Toast and thick shakes. I feature white, whole wheat, rye, or pumpernickel, buttered on the near or far side.
You have insurance?
So works. Plus an installment plan that lets me pay premiums monthly, quarterly, or semi-annually without interest charges from the Hartford.
All company with the moose.
It's a stag.
By the way, what kind of thick shakes do you offer?
Prone.
Year after year, you'll like doing business with the Hartford, the insurance people of ITT.
Well, behind a couple of bodies and hockey sticks is Rob Ramage, and he was just looking at his left thumb. Looked as if he might have torn his fingernail. That won't keep him out of action. And there's the other heavyweight combatant that was involved in that, Jim Peplinski. And I mean to tell you, I had a chance to play against both of these guys. I played with Peplinski against Ramage. Heavyweights, very strong. What an effort by Joel Otto here. Watch, he gets the shot away. He beats Pavis and gets the shot away. And on a one-on-one situation like that, good effort by Joel Otto.
Pavis, you're looking at him, the penalty. Power play, Calgary, the shot from the point by Lube wide. Blues clear it out. Hawk and Lube, Paul Reinhardt on the points. Lanny McDonald up front with Steve Bozak. And this man, John Tonelli. Fighting penalties to Peplinski and Ramage. A roughing penalty to Pavis at 13:23. Lanny McDonald unable to cut in front. Plays it to the point to Reinhardt. There's no score. Calgary the man advantage. Reinhardt in front, and Norwood well positioned. And the Blues clear the puck away very clearly there. Bill Clement, that box, the two forwards for the Blues way out towards the blue line, a little more than usual.
Yeah, they don't want to give Paul Reinhardt, the man with the puck right now, the chance. He has really killed him even when he's been the third and fourth man on the puck count.
Now Dan Quinn with McDonald, Tonelli, Reinhardt and Lube. Quinn, a blistering drive wide. Reinhardt flipping it to the far corner. Quinn will play it there. Here's Tonelli. It's Gilmore, Paslowski, Norwood, and Natras for St. Louis. 55 seconds left in the Calgary power play. They try to get Quinn open in that circle, and then the drive by Lube, and that's knocked away. Paslowski looking for an opening. And he finds enough of one to charge up the ice with Gilmore. Gilmore taken down by Lanny McDonald. And there'll be a penalty to the veteran Lanny McDonald. It seen it more often than not tonight, where one team will have the power play, but not for long.
Again, I think it was just an example of Lanny McDonald wanting to do too much. Now, we talked about the two St. Louis defenders being out near the blue line to watch for Reinhardt, who is in on the left of your screen now, and Al McInnes when he's on the ice. But when they do that lateral pass through the box over to Danny Quinn. We can't see the penalty that Lanny McDonald took, but as he was coming up the ice, I watched him hooking Pavis, and I was saying to myself, Lanny, you're heading for the penalty box. He let Pavis go and switch to Gilmore. Sooner or later, Gilmore helped him down a little bit with a bit of a slide onto his rear end. Lanny's off for hooking.
14:45 is the time of the penalty. Both teams one man short, no score. It'll be Wickenheiser against Steve Bozak. Wickenheiser knocked down Al McInnes with a punt. Al McInnes, Jamie McCowan, Bozak up front, along with Patterson for the Flames. Blues will have the power play in 24 seconds. Patterson around Bell, goes down. Here's McInnes. Over to McCowan. He's got time, and the tremendous save by Wamsley. McCowan almost had too much time.
He had a lot of time. Did you see how far out of the net Rick Wamsley was on that? He had confidence in his defenseman tying up the Flame that was back behind him. Boy, he must have been out of his net 15 feet to cut down the angle.
Bozak, good move. Can't get around Fedorko. Back the other way. 3-on-2. Blues at full strength. Ronning after the puck. He gets it. Trying to get it to Fedorko. Blues were changing, and the Flames able to clear. There's a minute 10 now to go, and McDonald's penalty. A real test here for the St. Louis ineffective power play. Well, they just have trouble handling the puck. Now a steal by Fedorko, and McCowan covering up. Blues set it up with Norwood and Natras on the points. And then Hunter, Ronning, and Fedorko up front. Nothing unusual here for St. Louis. This is just as if it was 5-on-5. Now by the penalty benches, a pair of players get into it, and there'll be at least one penalty. This has, again, been something we've seen rather typically, a little chippiness behind or off the play.
Well, Neil Sheehy involved in it again, which is kind of par for the course. He's been one of the most feisty Flames in this series. And Ken, you know, when the confidence goes in the power play, the first thing that goes when the confidence goes are the hands. And that's what you'll see in this situation now. Watch for St. Louis having shaky hands. Well, let's join Jim Kelly.
All right, guys, coming up in our first intermission about 4 minutes from right now, we'll check in with the St. Louis Blues leading goal scorer. That, of course, is number 24, Bernie Fedorko. We'll also have a very special feature for you. You don't want to miss this one on the great goaltender, Glenn Hall, now the Flames goaltending coach. We'll also check in at Sports Center. We'll check with Ken and Bill and Tom Eads with the Bud Light hockey news as well. Game 6, Bill Clement, are you surprised it's been as chippy as this game has been with so much on the line?
Absolutely not, Jim. With the intensity that both of these teams, the emotion and the adrenaline that they're bringing into the game, we saw a lot of it in Game 5, and really not surprised at all. You know, as the struggle mounts, the emotions mount, and the friction mounts. And when the friction mounts, you end up with a lot of chippiness, a lot of stick action, and basically anything you can do to get the advantage.
Rick Natras, Neil Sheehy, 2-minute penalties. Natras roughing, Sheehy charging. So Sheehy charged, was going to go off. Natras retaliated. 16 minutes, the time of the penalties. Coincidental. Blues still have a full-strength situation. Calgary one man short. This period has not been wide open. This has been a period that the Blues would design themselves. They like this style. They'd be happy if it was 0-0 in the third period. Fedorko drilling the puck in. Ronning and Hunter to dig it out. Hunter knocks it to Ronning. Ronning goes in front, and the save by Vernon. Now Bell to Fedorko. Hunter will stay in front. Ronning, the shifty little centerman. Bell, Norwood on the fly, and Vernon, a tremendous save on Norwood. 3:24 to go. Steve Bozak. He goes down with Norwood. Then Colin Patterson. Played it off the boards, and it's Ronning with it. Calgary with 7 shots. The Blues, until this situation, only had 2, and they've just had 2 quick shots on goal. And Calgary back at full strength. So both teams at full strength. McDonald gets a nice pass from Risebrough. He's muscled down by Ryan Sutter. And Gilmore takes over, flips ahead to Pazlowski. Bourgeois up on the play. Gilmore moves in front, but it is offside. And look at Terry Johnson grab Charlie Bourgeois and just hug him and wrestle him to the ice.
Well, I think Charlie did his share of grabbing back once he knew Johnson had the grip on him. And Ken, you mentioned that this period might suit the St. Louis Blues. You know, it's kind of interesting. It suits what Calgary wanted to do in here, too. Talked to Pierre Pagé just before they came on the ice, and he said, we want to keep them at bay during the first period because this is their home building. We tried to do that in Game 7, he said, against Edmonton. We held them to 4 shots in the first period, and you were right. Just before this last flurry that St. Louis got 2 shots on, the Flames had held them to 2 shots, and we got 2 minutes and 48 seconds to go in the first period, so it's kind of interesting that the period has suited both teams.
3 of the Blues' 4 shots have been pretty decent scoring opportunities.
Yeah.
At the other end, I can recall 2, maybe 3 of the 7 shots have really tested Rick Wamsley.
I agree, and let's not forget the statistic. We brought this up during the last game. Calgary, when they scored the first goal, and they have done that 12 times in the playoffs, they have lost 2, they have won 10 of those 12. When they haven't scored the first goal, they have yet to win a game. They are 0-3, so they made a big deal out of that in Game 5. Nobody's mentioned it in this game, but I'll tell you one thing. The Flames would dearly love to have that first goal.
McDonald firing the puck in. Tonelli bumps Paslowski, who does a good job getting possession. Sutter. Gilmore. The pass for Paslowski, smothered by Quinn. 2.5 minutes to go. Period 1, no score. Brian Sutter on with Gilmore and Paslowski. Now Terry Johnson misses the check from Sutter. Here's Gilmore with Sutter, and it hit Baxter's skate. Now Gilmore unable to maintain possession. Dan Quinn lifting it out to center ice. The first goal statistic really applies in this game as Tonelli intercepts. Bourgeois back, and Tonelli slowly unable to make the play. He had just been hitting the ankle. Now it's center ice. Doug Gilmore. Both teams changing players. To Gino Cavallini. Reed's in front. The save, and the puck trickles just wide as Vernon misplayed it. Now at the point, Norwood. His shot. Oh, and that goes just wide. Bell into the corner for Reeds. Into the boards by Reinhart. The Blues with a flourish here in the last few minutes of this opening period. And with 1:31 to go in period 1, the crowd comes to life here at the arena.
Ken, there's little question in my mind that Mike Vernon was looking for the pass here. Now Cavallini looked as if he was going to pass. Vernon, he got the shot up and in on Vernon, right near his arm and his body, almost in his armpit area. And that's why Mike wasn't able to grab it, but he was anticipating the pass. I would bet on that. I'll make a point of asking him after the game. And when you make that mistake of anticipating one thing and having something else happen, boy, you're never set for that shot. It was a sharp angle shot. It was a low percentage shot. I think he assumed that Gino was going to pass it there.
Both teams at full strength here, no score. That team scoring first has been very big in the '86 playoffs. The team in this Stanley Cup year scoring the first goal has ended up winning 77% of the games. Otto into the corner. Reed's there. Reed's with Mahar and Cavallini. And Bozak carries to center ice. Reed steps into it. Then hands the puck to Paul Reinhart. Cavallini all over Reinhart, who carries on. Bozak with Mullen and Otto. Cavallini intercepts. In this series, each time the first goal has been scored by a club, that team has gone on to win that particular game. There's less than a minute to go in this opening period, 0-0, and the Flames are called for an offside play, and the faceoff will be out at center ice.
One thing Jacques Demers pointed out in his 6-point plan before one of the early games in the series, he was kind of doing an impression of his version of that man's 7-point system that beat the Edmonton Oilers, and it was kind of a lackluster 6-point system, Ken, except for the last point, and that was that they were going to try and attack the right side of the Calgary Flames. They fell with Neil Sheehy and Paul Baxter and Al McInnes. That was the weak defensive side of the Calgary Flames, so they were going to concentrate on it. Once already tonight, Doug Gilmore kind of hooped Al McInnes early and went around him for a good scoring chance. It's tough to pick up and detect what's actually going on if they are attacking that side. Sometimes I think it's a little more mystique than it is practical, but if it works, what the heck?
49 seconds remaining in the opening period. Brian Sutter gets a nice pass from Ramage. The shot wide. There'll be a penalty coming up. There'll be a penalty here, and it'll be called against St. Louis. Now Brian Sutter having words near the penalty box with one of the Calgary players, and Brian Sutter will be going off, and the Blues will be shorthanded. Don't forget, during the first intermission, Bernie Federko celebrating birthday number 30 today. Will be along with Jim Kelly, just part of an exciting first intermission on our Stanley Cup coverage tonight. The slashing penalty at 19:20 called by referee Kerry Fraser. Brian Sutter in the penalty box. Calgary with a man advantage. Now McDonald plays it behind the net. Walmsley leaves it for Ramage. Here's an interception. Reeds, he's alone. Calgary 0 for 2 in the power play as Reeds shoots wide. Lanny McDonald in full stride with Reinhardt and Quinn. Reinhardt, the shot blocked in front. And Tonelli back to McInnes. There's that big booming shot that's deflected into the crowd with just 6 seconds to go in the first period.
Boy, he's the guy they want to spring loose on that power play. From the right side, Reinhardt on the left, McInnes on the right. What a shot he's got. Now Reinhardt shoots right into Norwood there, and I don't think Norwood knew where it was because Tonelli just swept through and laid it back. But Walmsley had to make the save. You can see Lanny McDonald, number 9 for the Flames, was at the side of the net, struggling to get in front to make that screen. That's one of the jobs of the St. Louis defenders. Move those guys out of there. Don't let them get in front of that man to block his vision, because very simple fact, you cannot stop what you cannot see.
There's a scoring opportunity for Calgary here if they can win the faceoff with 6 seconds to go. It'll be Joel Otto against the Blues, Doug Gilmour. And you can see how important it is to the Blues. They want to make sure that everyone in red is covered here. McCowan at the top of the circle. Otto trying to pull the puck back to Jamie McCowan. And he does. McCowan can't get the shot initially. Now shoots, deflection, and the save by Walmsley as the first period comes to an end with plenty of confusion.
Boy.
After 20 minutes of play, the Blues nothing, the Flames no score.
Boy, Bourgeois getting that beat out of him. He started throwing him a big Joel Otto.
A little melee of sorts here at the end of the first period.
I would call it a major melee, Ken Wilson.
Well,
the whole
little humor intended.
Yeah, the whole thing started with 2 number 9s right in the net. Doug Gilmour of the Blues and Lanny McDonald of the Flames, and there's one of the last guys to get separated, but the 2 guys who are going to have the most trouble breaking up are big Joel Otto and Charlie Bourgeois, who are still down on the ice on all fours. What a great save that was by Walmsley. The puck was deflected on the McCowan shot. And now as the camera might pan back for us, oh, we're coming back live to the action. Bourgeois got the first couple in on big Joel Otto, but I'll tell you one thing. I said in Game 5, that is one man on the right of your screen dressed in red that you don't want to wake up. He's a big teddy bear when you leave him alone, and we haven't even noticed him on the ice tonight, Ken Wilson. I think you're going to see a different Joel Otto when this second period starts. He's a sleeping giant. You wake him up, he'll hurt you. All right, everything's broken up. After the first period of play, there's no score.
Assignments for today.
This Bud's for all that you do.
Like many before, you came here asking for just one thing. A chance.
Sadowski. Shibowski. What? It's pronounced Shibowski.
You're here to make a new start, but starting out's the hard part. Whatever the test, you give it your best. You'll show you got the heart, 'cause you make America work, and this Bud's for you.
Here's
to you, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste that makes Budweiser the king of beers.
Hey, Sid. You make America work, and this Bud's for you.
Chrysler LeBaron GTS challenges BMW 528e and Mercedes 190e to a test of performance. Overall, America's GTS dominates the legendary Germans and is under $12,000. LeBaron GTS. We built an American hero.
Only Chrysler Plymouth gives you real American values with $500 or $1,000.
The Lyric Opera of Chicago for the classic Big Mac.
We all love a classic. Oh, masterpiece. La 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 la. A production like no other one. You'll all be having special sauce and cheese. Pickle honey on a 60-day high. With McDLT and quarter pounder, you can't go wrong. But the classic Big Mac sings my song. It's a good time for the great taste.
Reminiscent of Game 3 of the Calgary-Edmonton series, a lot of fighting and scrapping going on between some excellent hockey action. First period, though, ends scoreless at the St. Louis Arena. It is Game 6 of the Campbell Conference Finals, with the Flames leading 3-2 and seeking to close out the series tonight and move on to the finals against the Montreal Canadiens. Well, the St. Louis Blues haven't been this far in the Stanley Cup playoffs since 1972, but they do have a rich playoff tradition, including 3 straight appearances in the Stanley Cup Finals in 1968, 69, and 70. And the big reason for those appearances was a goaltender by the name of Glenn Hall. Glenn Hall must have trouble deciding who to root for in this series, for you see now, the retired Hall is now the goaltending coach of the Calgary Flames. And Chris Cuthbert has more on Glenn Hall.
In Chicago, he was simply Mr. Goalie. In St. Louis, he was the franchise. This morning, Glenn Hall remembered life with the Blues.
Well, I remember the building being empty, and like as we progressed and improved and got the fans educated, that how it filled up and the noise and the treatment that we generally got. The Solomons were unbelievable as owners, and like the treatment from the city, the people in the city as well. I thought I played well in the finals of the initial expansion season. I thought I played well finals. Even in the semifinals, I played quite well. But I had a good series. There's no doubt about that for me. But I loved playing in the playoffs. I really, I'd get hyper, and when I was hyper, I played well.
Hall's claim to fame was playoff hockey and his nervousness on and off the ice. But he always maintained his concentration on the game at hand. And now, as the Flames' goaltending advisor, he knows that playoffs aren't the time for him to be coaching.
I don't think you have to. There's not much you can say. They just know you're around. We go over the goals that have gone in the past and what to expect. Like, again, I like the kids to be at a level where they're high enough. I don't want them to fall asleep, and I don't think you can get too high. I really think you have to really want it to play well.
The Flames' goaltending situation is rather interesting. For Hall, he must console the veteran Lemelin and be briefed with the rookie Vernon.
Just whatever you're doing, continue to do it. And it is a tough situation for Reggie. And he's accepted it. And all I can tell him is, Reggie, be ready. You're a good goalkeeper. You're going to get in at some time, and just be ready. It's important because you don't have 2 games to get sharp. You have to be sharp, so your practices have to. He's working very hard in practice, and he's got a great attitude.
But whether he's coaching the Flames goaltenders or playing the game himself, in Game 6 of a conference championship, Glenn Hall still gets nervous.
Yes, I certainly do, yeah. I don't think I'd enjoy the games if I didn't get nervous. I'd fall asleep, and there's no way you fall asleep in a hockey game.
No, there certainly isn't, Glenn. Glenn Hall, one of the all-time greats. I remember as a boy growing up, actually in my high school years, watching Glenn Hall and the St. Louis Blues. They were part of that big expansion when the NHL went from 6 to 12 teams, and they had the expansion champion meet the original 6 champion in the Stanley Cup Finals. Well, they met Boston and Montreal twice in their 3 straight years. They didn't win any of those years, but they set the tone for hockey in St. Louis, and hockey is alive and well, as we see as a sellout crowd is on hand tonight at the St. Louis Arena. Standing by with our Jim Kelly back at the arena is St. Louis Blues star Bernie Federko. We'll be going there for that interview in a moment. After 1 period in St. Louis, it's the Flames nothing and the Blues nothing.
In the past, you saw a big Ford 4x4 pickup carry a Chevy pickup up this monster mountain of boulders. But now we're going to top ourselves by carrying a Chevy and towing a Dodge pickup up the same mountain. Because this year, Ford has the most powerful lineup of V8 engines, gas and diesel of any pickup. And only Ford has independent front suspension for ground-grabbing traction. No wonder they're America's best-selling full-size pickups.
Hi, just thought I'd pop in to tell you about Scanlon Discount Music. We have new and used pianos from makers like Kimball and Zimmerman. Scanlon takes trade-ins and has the exclusive 10-year warranty on parts, labor, and service. And remember, Scanlon will not be undersold. Well, gotta go.
Come to Scanlon's grand opening for Kimball grand pianos, starting at $34.95. These Kimballs are available in all styles and finishes. Trade-ins are accepted. At Scanlon Discount Music.
Flows, America goes.
Hey, that truck runs, a Fisher & Son doesn't.
Only gets the big Q. Quaker State.
Well, you can depend on number 1.
Fuel pop, they start with Pennsylvania grade crude.
Nothing like Quaker State.
It's a one-of-a-kind formula. Stable viscosity, keeps the oil flowing, protecting, no matter what.
No substitute for quality. I got 2 great partners.
Quaker State. The big Q stands for quality. Always has, always will.
You don't just watch an NHL game.